I thought that that was my chance, you know. I went to the center of Nice, where exactly he was about to come and visit the mayor. I waited for him. Nobody was showing up. I was just waiting and waiting and waiting. And somebody told me that he was going to come. He was going to be there in around an hour. I had some copies of my story, which I started to distribute to people. Like the mayor and other politicians who were there. And then there's a police officer coming over to me, a really high-ranked officer of the police who came over to me. And he shook my hand. He asked me what I was doing there. Then there's two police officers who came over to me, but they didn't have any uniforms. They came over to me. He told me, "You've already been to my police office, right? With your story." I said, "Yeah." He said, "Okay, that's fine." And the other guy said, "Do you want to meet Mr. Sarkozy, the president?" I said, "Yes, of course." And he said, "Okay, wait here for a second." And then they brought a police car. The police car didn't take me to Sarkozy. He took me to the psychiatric hospital. My perpetrators took revenge on me. They didn't let me talk because they didn't want me to talk to the psychiatrist. So, but I talked anyway, whatever I could tell him. But he thought that I was psychotic, and I couldn't get out of there for 5.5 months. I was locked over there. I couldn't leave, and nobody believed me in my story. After 5.5 months, I got out of there, and they told me. The psychiatrist ordered they ordered me to stay 1 year with medicine, and I had to take that medicine all the time. And I didn't want to do that because I knew that I wasn't sick. It's not an illness; it's a true story. And what we did is, me and my dad, my dad doesn't even know about the story because he wouldn't understand. He can't communicate and stuff like that. He's disabled. So what we did, we left France with his money and we moved to Israel. And in Israel, I've been there for a couple of months now. I just came to Denmark because I'm also a Danish citizen. My mom is Danish and I was born in Denmark, in Copenhagen. And I just came back here for a short time. I don't know how long time I'm going to stay here, but they're still torturing me. Even 2 days ago, they didn't want to let me sleep. They're talking to me all the time. And they are sending waves once in a while just to hurt my organs. I don't know what they're doing, but they're still doing it. Well, right now, I went to Lars a couple of days ago. He detected radio frequencies in my body, which I knew that he was going to detect because I know I'm implanted. And I really got relieved. And he really gave me hope, Lars. I just think that we're going to have to stay strong all together. And we gotta fight for our rights. We just hope that one day it's gonna stop, and we just want our freedom. I know that one day we'll get our freedom, but I got really tortured, especially in France. You're being tortured, and it's invisible, and you can't prove it. And even if people believe you, there's nothing they can do about it. Not the police, not anybody, not a judge, not a lawyer, and nobody can help you out.
It's a very frightening story, but in some respects you are lucky that you have free citizenships, so you can basically choose which country you want to go to, and if it gets too bad in one place, you can go to the next one. Which would bring me to a question that is, what is your experience? Which country has targeted you the most? Which is the most uncomfortable country to be in as a victim of this?
When I was in France, it was worst. It was worse, definitely worst. I mean, in Israel, they started to cool down a little bit, and it's not the same. I mean, they didn't have secret agents everywhere, and I didn't even notice anybody because I had less waves also in my body, I think. And then here in Denmark too, I don't think they haven't showed up.
Do you have any questions, Stephen?
Yeah, I have a question for you, Philip. You say you went into psychiatric care in France.
Yes.
Yeah, so my question is to you, what did they tell you and what diagnosis did they give you?
Well, they told me that this doesn't exist. Do you really think that the Secret Service would do something like this to you? And they told you that there are no implants. Those implants they come from your imaginations. They told me that it's an illness, it's a sickness. They diagnosed me with being psychotic.
Did they do any tests to prove that these were not implants?
Not at all. She didn't even check those websites that I gave her. She didn't even want to hear about it. She told me that I was psychotic, and she didn't even want to check it out. And even if I show her so many websites I told her about the victims around the world, and she didn't even want to believe me.
When the police put you into psychiatric care against your will, did they administer drugs right away, or was that over time?
No, same night.
Do you know what kind of drugs they were giving you?
Yes, they started with Risperdal. Risperdal is a drug that they use for schizophrenic or psychotic patients.
Okay. What effect did it have?
Well, I couldn't poo. I had to take some other drugs in order to go to a restroom in time and stuff like that. I couldn't do anything. I was just on that drug. And then she changed drug every month. She tried all the drugs on me. I even had problems with one of the drugs. I had contractions in my leg. I couldn't walk. None of them that worked on me, only made me more bad.
What was the effect of the drugs? Did they have any effect at all?
There was no effect on me, because there was no effect at all, because it's implants. you can't use drugs against implants.
Stephen, do you have any more questions?
Well, it's not so much a question, or it's more an observation when you're telling your story, Philip. They make you walk extreme lengths and try to spot secret agents. I heard many stories, and this is just the same kind of thing that everyone goes through. Just it's been personalised to you and who other people, and it's going to be personalised a little bit to them. I don't know if you can see any recognition.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I think. Like, they personalize your story. Yeah, I forgot to tell you. They're insulting me. They are insulting the Jews, the Arab. They're just sick in their head. They're psychopaths.
People who have a strong faith, whatever the religion or whatever the faith is, there is a special section where they try to utilize that. I don't know. Did you experience that, where they used religion especially against you?
Yeah, because, I believe in God, and they say all the time God does not exist, and I tell them all the time that because I'm Jewish, and I tell them that they are Nazis, and like Mengele in the Auschwitz concentration camp was doing the same thing to many Jews and many other people. I call them Nazis all the time, because they just have the same job as Mengele.
Well, I think even for non-Jewish people like myself, I like to call them Nazis as well, because that's basically, in history, if we go back, that's the closest description you can find.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much for sharing your story with us.
You're welcome.
We'll be opening up our caller lines, and those on the chat lines, please forward your questions, and Stephen and I will be happy to try to answer them as best as we can.